Hello everyone, I'm Rahul, and this is going to be a small video series on Gautam Buddha's teachings. And I'm really delighted to share his teachings with you. Why? Because his teachings have totally transformed me as a person. His teachings have given me a perceptiveness, a clarity that has directly influenced the way in which I live my life. And mind you, I'm not a practicing Buddhist. I'm not some scholar who is very well versed in different schools of Buddhism. No, but I'm very well acquainted with the core teachings of Buddha. And I will only talk about those core teachings because I have gone into them with a great sense of inquiry. I have experimented with the teachings and I have lived the teachings. And I can say this thing with authority that if you will imbibe his teachings wholeheartedly, then sooner or later you are bound to transform your life for all the good reasons. And you don't have to become a Buddhist in order to get something out of Buddha's teachings. No. I believe that eventually the goal of every religion is to make you a good human being so that you become capable of living a good life. And by good life, I mean a life where you have a deep sense of peace within your being, where you have some love and kindness in your heart, where you know the joy and ecstasy of being alive. Because these are your intrinsic human values. These values do not belong to any religious institution. Love, peace, understanding can never be Hindu, Muslim, or Christian. They are your core values. They belong to you, and it is your birthright to claim these values. So, religion should simply be used as a medium to realize these highest flowering of your consciousness, to realize the ultimate potential that lies dormant within you. So, in that context, religion should actually serve humanity. But the whole thing has become topsy-turvy in today's world. Today, people are trying to serve religion, and it has resulted in so much hatred and animosity among people. Now, what is the cause of this whole chaos? The cause is our unconscious identification with our religion. Just because you are born into a Hindu family, you identify yourself as a Hindu. Just because you're born into a Christian or a Mohammedan family, you identify yourself as a Christian or a Mohammedan. And it is purely accidental that you were born into a Hindu family or a Muslim family or a Christian family. You did not choose to take birth in that family. But we do not think, we don't use our intelligence. We unconsciously just identify ourselves with a religion. And the problem is that the moment you identify yourself with a particular religion, you take it very personally. You start looking at your religion as an extension of your identity. Now, if tomorrow someone will say that so and so thing is wrong in your religion, or it's a very impractical and unscientific thing that is written in your scripture, you will try to defend it. Without knowing whether it is true or not, you will try to defend it because it is a direct attack on your identity. And the problem is that there is a very thin line between defense and attack. Any day your defense can turn into an attack. And that's what is happening in the world. The Hindus are hating the Muslims are hating the Hindus, and there is so much religious conflict among so many different religious groups. It is kind of a dumb ego trip of believing that my religion is the best religion. It's like children fighting over toys, that my toy is the best toy. So if we want some peace and harmony in this world, we have to drop this childish attitude towards religion. In fact, I would go ahead and say that everyone should have the courage to question their own religion. A Hindu should have the courage to question Gita, a Christian should have the courage to question Bible, a Mohammedan should have the courage to question Quran, because it is an undeniable fact that religion is rooted in timeless wisdom. That's why it is still surviving. At the same time, there are so many things which are not at all relevant today. In every scripture, in every religion, you will find there are things which are unscientific, which are irrational, which are outdated. So our emphasis should be on inquiring and knowing rather than believing and following. And all this rant was to simply make you a little more open-minded, more receptive, so that you can use Buddha's teachings as tool to attain higher values in your life. Now coming back to Buddhism, the way I look at Buddhism, I think it can be divided into two different parts. Whether it is Hinayan Buddhism or Mahayana Buddhism, these schools can further be divided into two different parts in my understanding. First is the supernatural part. The supernatural part talks about reincarnation and other metaphysical aspects, some mystical experiences, some religious deities are also there. I'm not at all interested in this supernatural part. I will be very frank with you. Now, at this point, a lot of Buddhists might say that by disregarding the supernatural, I'm simply missing the point of Buddha's teachings, but I'm okay with it because I don't claim to be a Buddhist. Coming to the natural part, it talks about the nature of human consciousness. It tries to look objectively at human condition, and it tries to find out why are human beings suffering? What is the cause of their suffering and whether this cause can be eliminated? Now, this is a very pragmatic approach, a very scientific approach, and I am more interested in the natural aspect because I am a very earthly person. I am interested in transforming my daily life, and I'm heavily influenced by Osho in this regard. Osho used to say that this very body, the Buddha, this very earth, the paradise. Now, if liberation has to be attained, we have to use this body, this very mind to attain liberation. Freedom from suffering is not waiting for us after this life. If we want to be free of suffering, we have to use this body to become free from suffering. We have to use this mind to become free from suffering. And if we want to go to paradise, there is no paradise waiting for us at the end of life. We have to create a paradise on this earth. Such practical approach, such pragmatic approach. I'm all for it. So I think that I have said enough for the introduction. Basically, I wanted to talk about these two things only. First, I wanted to clarify the real meaning of religion. Before we go on this journey together, it's very important to have an open-minded approach. Because a lot of people are simply doing all kinds of stupid things in the name of religion and believing that they are religious. No, religious approach is a totally different approach. Religious approach is a qualitative approach. It is about attaining certain qualities within you by using different tools, different scriptures, different religions as a medium. So use these teachings of Buddha as a tool to attain higher values in your life. Secondly, I want to keep it very practical and approachable, and that is the reason why I will not talk about any supernatural stuff. If you agree with me on these 2 points, then I think we can go ahead on this journey together. It is going to be an exciting journey. It is going to be a very, very beautiful journey that can actually transform your life. So in the next session, I'll briefly talk about Gautam Buddha's life story. I think it is very important to understand a little background about the teacher before going into the teachings, and we will do that in the next session. It's an interesting story. It's a journey, a heroic journey that Gautam Siddharth took to become Gautam Buddha. You will certainly find it very, very interesting. So I hope to see you in the next session, and you listened to me with such patience. You watched this whole video up until this point. I'm really grateful for that. I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.